All right. Thank you for joining today's webinar. This is Brian Pasch, founder of PCG Companies. I'm with John Rubel from Conversica. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Super. So, John, we have a really exciting topic to talk about. Before we get into the subject matter, give everyone a little background. Obviously, they can read this, but what gets you excited today working with dealers?
I think technology in general has progressed to the point where they actually need it as assets within the dealership. When you start talking about artificial intelligence, it takes technology to the next level. And really, Conversica is really the groundbreaker out there, the only company out there that gets it and has an effective product that scales.
Great. Well, I'm excited to share. If people are not familiar with PCG, we are really focused on dealer education. I've written the only textbook on automotive digital marketing, and we live by three principles: be an advocate for dealers, help educate them, and that those who want to work with us, we can help elevate their success. And today's webinar is really hitting on all three of these areas. We're based in Eatontown, New Jersey. I have a staff of 50 full-time people. And we also review all of the technology in the automotive space and hand out the equivalent of the Oscars for automotive marketing technology. And it's exciting to be able to share a great piece of technology. We also have created the only automotive independent dashboard that can bring in all your marketing data, including data from Conversica. And I want to congratulate our recent general manager mentoring class. Graduates, these are people who are investing in online education. Webinars, online training, and great products make a successful dealership. And if you have not looked at our online training programs, please do that by visiting pcgtraining.com. Those of you who know, we have started about 18 months ago a whole research division on things to educate dealers and products. And today, we want to talk to you about one particular product and its evolution of helping the sales team and now the service team to be more profitable, engage, and retain customers. So let's talk about this. Think about all the people in your CRM right now. How many people are in your DMS now? And what if your boss said, I want you to call these customers right now, whether they were prospects in your CRM for car or people that were due for service or lapse. Wouldn't it be a little bit of an overwhelming task? I don't know about you, if you'd like to comment, those who are on the webinar, but have you ever felt that it's been somewhat a waste of your time to just dial, answer machine dial, ring, no answer, busy? Have you ever felt frustrated that, well, the process that we have in place today to engage our customers has a lot of ugly points? But what if we could increase engagement? What if we could convert more of those leads for service and sales into customers? What if we could convert more of our existing DMS customer data into reactivated customers? I want you to think about this because today I'm going to take you on a journey. This journey is something I believe you're going to want to share with other people in your 20 groups, within your dealer group, and we'll make a copy of this webinar available. But I just grabbed a dealer's website data from Google Analytics. This is 1 month. They had 47,000 sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the percentage of people who actually submitted a lead. Of the 12,000 people that came from paid search, only 0.46. Of the people who came organically, 1.47. Ladies and gentlemen, we spend a tremendous amount of money to get a lead in our CRM, whether it's for sales or service, yet how well are you valuing that data that costs us so much money to get, are we doing a great job at connecting with these customers? I was looking at this clip art, and of course I picked it. It reminds me of a little bit of Sean Raines from Dealer On and Greg Gifford for Dealer On if we had to merge them. I don't know if you know this gentleman, but this is a funny picture. But think about this. Has it ever bothered you that if you're investing money in sales advertising or service advertising, that only 1 to 2% of your traffic converts into a lead form, maybe 2 to 5% in a phone call, 1%? Has anybody, give me a yes or no, has anybody looked at these numbers and said, wow, man, this is really low conversion. Consumers are not submitting leads as much as they used to in the past. And then when those leads come in, are we doing the best to engage them? And before we talk about Conversica, I need to have a real heart-to-heart talk with you on how do you measure conversion. Think about this. Think about this for a minute. I have a new book coming out called Swimming with Digital Sharks. It's designed for general managers and sales managers and fixed ops manager who feel uncomfortable with digital conversations. But there's things called last click conversion or assisted conversions. A last click would be, hey, a consumer came to your website a number of times and then they finally converted because of your Facebook ad. Assisted conversions would be what are all the sources that drove people to your website to convert. And then multi-touch conversion, what about all the influences you don't know about? AutoTrader, Cars.com, TrueCar, how about the manufacturer site, Tier 2 sites? All of these things influence conversion. But then here's my problem. Today, dealers say, I want more leads, I want you to sell more cars, I want you to book more service from my online traffic, yet 30 to 40% of dealers who ask me to look at their data don't even have AdWords and analytics connected. They're not using UTM tags to properly track their traffic. They don't even have a thank you page sometimes being fired to tell consumers after they submit a service or sales lead what they can expect. Many dealers are only using dynamic phone numbers for AdWords, yet they're driving tons of traffic to their website through email marketing, CRM templates, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we not tracking and integrating all our chat and texting sessions? Our reports at the end of the month should look like this. This is how much I spent on certain sources, how many converted to leads, how many phone calls, how many chats. I bet that 90+% of the people watching this webinar, whether live or not, do not get a report like this that looks at all traffic sources and conversions. And then, on top of that, dealers don't even know what's converting because they don't have Google Analytics goals set up. Why do I bring this up? It's because we're spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on marketing and no one's really being serious about conversion metrics and measuring what's working. And then more importantly, when that lead comes in, when that customer becomes a record in our DMS, are we really serious about maximizing that opportunity? I want you to think about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to answer this question, and you could do it in the text box. On a scale of 1 to 10, how persistent is your dealership in pursuing an internet lead, whether it's for sales or service? 10, we work that until we're exhausted. Or 1, yeah, we give it a shot. We call them once or twice. We send them 1 or 2 emails, and if they don't respond, we give up. How would you rate your process? When someone submits a lead form on a vehicle, when someone schedules an online service appointment, or when you're looking at your DMS records, how would you score your dealership's ability to really get that person engaged, committed, and back into the dealership for the first time? So how do we pursue these opportunities? Well, everyone's using a CRM. But today you're going to learn that your CRM is not doing everything that you thought it was doing. Can you relate to any of these? If you can, you could just type in amen if you'd like. But here's our problem. We have leads coming in for sales and service, but we have high turnover rates. Maybe we're not paying people enough. Maybe we're firing them too quickly. Can you say an amen to this? Brian, we used to have a BDC, then we went to an internet team, then we went back to a BDC, and now we're doing something completely different. Or how about this? Brian, we would be selling more cars, we would be booking more service, but, you know, if the leads come in from this certain source, our team thinks they're bad leads. I'm not going to tell you, but we kind of cherry pick. We think these leads are good and these others are bad. Or how about understaffed or no bench, meaning someone goes out sick or on maternity leave and there could be 2 months where there's too many leads and opportunities for people to handle. Or lastly, phone skills. Brian, we would do better in sales and service, but we really have not invested the time to train our people properly. And if you need phone skills training, of course, companies like Phone Ninjas or Car Wars are awesome in really helping your team. So does it surprise you that dealers are not closing as many opportunities, either new leads or customers that are up for service? If our phone skills are not great, if our human nature about cherry picking, if we're just understaffed or overworked, does it surprise you that dealers are leaving millions of dollars in potential revenue on the table each year? We really do our best to respond to leads. I believe that as an industry. I love working with dealers. They really want to do their best, but the problems, well, we went through them. Does anybody else have any other suggestions? Meaning, what are other challenges that are getting in the way of you booking more service appointments, in getting more leads to convert into showroom visits? What are some of the other challenges that you see that I didn't list? I'd love to add them to this discussion. What's preventing your dealership from, well, engaging more with consumers online? Here's a good one. Managers don't understand how consumers shop. Okay, that's fine. Here's another one. Not reading the email properly and answering the consumer's questions. Sure. Or others, is sometimes not wanting to give a price for a service or for a vehicle online. These are all challenges as well. But I'm going to tell you, in order for dealers to increase their service revenue, in order for dealers to increase their car sales, new and used, they have to automate consistent areas of weakness. The things that I brought up and the things on this list have been the same discussions that have been happening for the last 15 years. I am serious about that. People have been complaining, poor phone skills, poor follow-up skills. They don't like to use the CRM. We have to stop accepting that and move to an automation. So the question is, if you say, Brian, our team is 5 stars, we are doggedly, pleasantly persistent on every internet lead. We are calling all our customers in the service drive when they are scheduled or decline service or orphan. We are on it, okay? Still hang on, because I'm going to save you money. If you say, Brian, no, we're understaffed, we're not working our CRM as well, we're not maximizing the number of people to come into the showroom, we're not maximizing the revenue in the service drive, then stay tuned. It starts to get interesting. We did a research report on Conversica, and we interviewed their customers on how they thought their sales process and customer communication was before installing the software. And I was very glad that people were, well, honest. 25% of the dealers says, hey, we only call 1 to 2 times. Another 25%, 3 to 5 times. You can see this data. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just human nature that people are not as persistent as we would want them to. Matter of fact, my colleague Joe Webb shared with us this interesting stat. He was hired to research the behavior of automotive sales consultants. They knew that their email and phone call tasks were being graded by his company, Dealer Knows. And his research found that the sales consultants only made 2.1 calls to an inbound website lead, and 62% of the salespeople were content with just 1 phone call. Ladies and gentlemen, sales is a numbers game. If you agree with me, just say amen. We need to understand that it's human nature to give up. It's the reality. Not only Joe Webb's research, but PCG's research is we just go into dealership after dealership and they just say, yes, Brian, we're understaffed, or we're down a person, or yeah, we're not making enough calls. Even a company that we use for mystery shopping, Stealth Shopper, showed this. Look, they shopped 1,500 stores. The average first personal response was 3.23 hours. The first price response, by the way, this means that we asked in the mystery shop, is this the best price? Can you give me your best price? It took 4 hours for people to get back, and only 64% answered the question and got back with a price. And only 13% of the dealers ever had a manager or a second voice reaching out to the customer. We have this multi-million-dollar business, and Joe Webb, PCG, Stealth Shopper, and well, there's more research out there. It's just saying, you know, we haven't fixed the problem of engaging with our customers in service and sales. We just haven't done it. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to give you a solution. PCG is an advocate for dealers saying, wake up. Number 2, I'm here educating you by investing my time in this webinar. And number 3, I'm here to elevate your success by showing you how to solve the problem. I know this may seem like a very long setup to talking about a product, but if you don't understand the concept or the need, the product may seem trivial to you. But have you ever thought about this? When somebody comes to your website and submits a lead for sales or service, have you ever really looked at the numbers? About 30% of the people never respond to an email. Think about that. I wonder, do you know the percentage at your dealership? Do you know the percentage of leads that you never get a two-way email communication from? Has it ever bothered you? Well, hold on, Brian. In today's world, consumers have price, payment, photos, accessories, details, everything on the website. Why would they submit a lead for sales or service and then never respond to me? Have you ever thought about that? Relatively an odd thing. Well, the reason is there's a dirty little secret that your CRM providers really don't talk to you about, and it's email deliverability. Some of you are using your CRM to mass mail your clients, your customers in the DMS. Have you ever had a slow month and by week 2 the sales manager comes in and says, put out an email blast, and you're like, well, boss, we just sent out a 10,000 person email. Send it out again. We need to move the numbers. Isn't it funny that if I loaded up, listen to me now, this is very important. If I loaded up a dealer's DMS list and I went to a third-party mailer, Constant Contact, or Vertical Response, these are email marketing platforms that you can use. If I loaded up the dealership's DMS and did a blast, I'd have a call from that company within hours ready to cancel my service. Why? Because they would see how many people unsubscribed. They would see how many people complained. Ladies and gentlemen, You shouldn't be using your CRM as a mass mailing marketing tool. You have to run your business through the CRM. You can't afford to have your CRM platform on someone's blacklist. And a blacklist means that your emails are not getting through to customers. Why is this important? Dealers are ignorant on email marketing. They are ignorant on CRM delivery. I've seen so many bad examples. Dealers are wondering, hey, Brian, why is our service mailer not working? Why is our retention rate so low? Why are we only closing 6% of our internet sales leads? And then I look at their CRM templates. They have a high image-to-text ratio. They have too many links in the email. They're using words like save thousands of dollars. Or they don't even know how to check whether or not their CRM platform is currently on a blacklist. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a multi-million-dollar problem. Meaning, dealers are spending tens of thousands of dollars a month, every single month, to market their business, to generate phone calls and emails and closing deals. And then we are relying on our CRM to reach out to customers or prospects to generate revenue, and no one is really realizing of the problems that we're having in email delivery. Go ahead and mystery shop your own dealership. Set up a Gmail account, set up a Yahoo account, and say your Comcast is in your area. Set up a Comcast email, and I want you to go ahead and submit a lead on a vehicle, submit a lead on a service special. You're going to be surprised on how many of your emails go right into the Gmail spam box or right into the Comcast spam box. You're going to be shocked. It happens all the time. One of the values that PCG offers dealers is really tools to self-inspect. This website, mail-tester.com, is a way that you can test your email templates, and you should test all of them, your newsletters, all of them, your service offers, all of them, and to clean them up. But don't be surprised if you find your CRM IP address on a blacklist. Of course, you need to then escalate that with your CRM company to get that off. And one last tip before we go into the software. You should be using an autoresponder. It should be super short. It shouldn't have any logos or graphics in it. It should confirm that the lead form, whether it's sales or service, worked. Set an expectation of what that person can expect from your business, meaning you'll be contacted or such. And then at least ask one question. Here's the reason why. You need to get through that customer spam filter. If your first email to them is super clean, and of course we're going to understand that super clean email service is one of the reasons why Conversica is fantastic, but your own business process, when you are contacting, you want to make sure that the first email you send out to any customer is as clean as possible. And that's the beauty of understanding today's problem and how Conversica has taken a multi-step approach to help you increase two-way engagement. So Conversica leverages artificial intelligence and an ultra-clean mail server to optimize when's the best time to contact someone. It's working 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, never gets tired, doesn't cherry pick. They get your emails delivered when you can. And I know you don't want to believe it. We're going to show you. But your CRM platform doesn't stand a chance at beating Conversica's ability to get an email read by a consumer. And more importantly, and you'll see a quote from a dealer I spoke to just yesterday, you're going to get feedback that you never got before. And this feedback is directly related to increasing sales in both variable ops and fixed ops. At the bottom line is, and John will be able to answer specific questions is you're going to sell more because you've increased the two-way engagement. And I know it sounds too simple, but believe me, there's a lot of technology behind it. Think about this. Your dealership can inspect your CRM workflow. Your managers can see overdue tasks. Your CRM is going to say this sales consultant was sending out emails or made phone calls, but here's the key. He can't or she can't see if the customer is happy. The CRM has no ability to tell your sales manager or service manager that the person got what they requested. If someone emails your dealership asking about a recall or asking them about a tire or a malfunction, you have only thing you can see on your side is that you thought you responded to them. But here's the big eye-opener. 20 to 35% of the consumers you think you answered their question. You think, listen to me, you think they're ignoring you. They never, ever got your email. And of course, Conversica can even secret shop your dealership, and of course, we can provide that information for you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. You're running a multi-million-dollar business using a CRM and some email-related processes. You're trying to increase retention. You're trying to increase revenue, but no one really told you that a whole chunk of your sales and service processes is never, ever reaching the email box of your customers and prospects. So, John, let's jump to this beautiful concept. Conversica is built with artificial intelligence to actually read emails from the customer and engage them. These are some of the questions, simple questions Conversica asks to start engagement. But how smart is Conversica as the consumer asks more questions or responds?
Because Conversica actually reads the response from the customer as part of the AI or the machine learning, it can discern next steps, whether it's to send a simple reply and answer the question. The biggest thing that we do is once we get an engagement with a customer that needs a human touch, that's the point that we turn that over to a live human being and saying, hey, we've got a live one that wants to do business with us. We've kind of cherry-picked and done all the heavy lifting. We're only going to serve up alerts for those customers that are ready to engage with a live human being.
And John, that's the beauty. I love working with dealers, but in general, they're understaffed, meaning they're running lean and mean, but in this one area of customer engagement, I think they're penny wise and dollar foolish. They have this multi-million-dollar investment, and they just know that they are understaffed to properly mine their database, to properly pursue. What Conversica does is find the people who are ready to do business right now and serve them up on a platter for the sales team to handle. This is an amazing thing. So, John, the dealership gets instant feedback from Conversica on all opportunities where the customer is saying, no, I am still waiting for a response. You can see in this first slide, the customer says, no, Dina has not contacted me. No, not yet. No, I didn't hear from Arvin today. John, when dealers first turn on Conversica and see that their customers are responding to you, your emails, and basically saying, no, the dealership's ignoring me, What's the normal reaction from a sales manager or a service manager?
Well, typically they don't believe it, but these are actually the responses from the customer. Their perception when they respond back to Conversica is, no, I did not get what I asked for. So the first thing that your team is going to want to do is jump into your CRM and either beat somebody over the head because they didn't send something, or say, no, we sent the email out. We answered the questions of the customer. Well, the question is, why is the customer's perception they didn't get back to me? And 9 times out of 10, that email that you sent from the CRM is either sitting in the promotions tab of Gmail, the spam folder. The customer never saw your response. So it's almost like two ships passing in the night. You're frustrated because you're doing your job and sending the email to the customer. The customer's frustrated because they feel like they don't really care about me. They don't want my business. They never responded to me. So there is one of the, 30 to 40% of the times, and you can Google spam rates by ISP, you'll be shocked. It's in the 30 to 40% range in the automotive industry. And that's because they're not using good email practices. You know, the advantage we have is we use Amazon cloud servers with rotating IP addresses, never send a link, never set a graphic. They're seasoned and they're whitelisted. So when that customer responds back, no, I did not get what I asked for, and you look in your CRM and see that you sent the email, it's time to figure out a different way to communicate with that customer, because we're losing business from that hard-earned dollars we're spending in marketing.
That's right, John. And the exciting thing is that this replicates 100% of the time, meaning there isn't a dealer who turns on Conversica that doesn't see their blind spots. Here's an example. I'm going to give you sales and service examples. This dealer, when they turned on Conversica, 35% of the people who engaged, now, of all the leads that were worked, 54% Conversica got to talk with them. 35% of the people said, nope, I'm still waiting on that quote, or I'm still waiting to get an answer. And the dealer took that data and, as John said, dug in to figure out what was wrong, because you can't have 35% of the people who want to do business with your dealership saying, no, I'm still waiting. Here's another example. When they addressed all the problems that were on the list, look what happened. They had a 50% reduction in the customers who said, I'm still waiting for a response. Let's take a look at another customer here. 36% of their customers that were still left in an open state said, nope, I'm still waiting. And here were some of the results from that specific dealer. And look what happened. They were able to reduce their outstanding issues to make customers engage. Sometimes it actually, means adding more people, because you're finally getting a really efficient way of connecting with customers. Here's some feedback from dealers. I'm not going to read it. I'm telling you that having an automated assistant in sales and service is so smart, because you know that human nature takes over. You know that you're understaffed. You know you're not doing all you can. Why not have someone work those opportunities? Tom Moore, who has gone through the PCG mentoring program, has been through our digital training, said, Brian, there's a direct correlation in our group between the stores that are doing well and their leads at risk score. If the store has high leads at risk, they're just not maximizing their sales opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's webinar, whether you're watching it live or recorded, listen to me. Stop saying you want to sell more cars. Stop saying that you want more service revenue. Stop saying that and do something about it. You need to fix the way in which we engage leads in our CRM, the way in which we communicate with customers in our DMS. And if I'm telling you that it's not uncommon when you turn on Conversica that 30 to 40% of the customers that Conversica engage with say, no, I haven't heard from the dealership. And you say, well, Brian, how is that possible? It's the reality of email delivery problems. Every dealer who's using Conversica gets a wake-up call, and now this wake-up call relates to all service opportunities. John, for dealers watching today's webinar, how did the service piece evolve from this great track record you have in increasing connections, communication, sales, and profits on the variable ops side? How did the fixed ops piece start?
Our current clients that are on the variable piece recognize, A, the revenue potential in fixed ops. If you've got a dealer getting 300 internet leads a month, they're selling 100 cars a month. Think about the number of ROs that they should be written in the service department. It's typically the number is about 10 times that. Now, if you look at the staffing in service, it's going to try to handle 10 times the opportunities of variable. It's just not there. So our dealers have been asking for us to move into fixed ops. One, from a scalability standpoint, we touch every customer at every key life cycle trigger point every time with the right message at the right time. So the dealers recognize this huge gap in fixed ops, the opportunity for more revenue, more retention, and really we're beating our doors down saying, hey, you need to get into fixed ops. So we listened and we developed this product.
That's awesome. Now, let's look at the opportunities. Of course, I'm not going to read these slides. You're just as fast reader. We all know that by retaining customers instead of trying to always pay to get a new customer is we have opportunity to maximize their lifetime value. Loyalty is profitable, meaning if you can get your customers to service their cars regularly, they're likely going to buy a car from you. And you know that. Great tools like auto alerts, if you want to download that research report. I mean, staffing the service drive with a sales team with auto alert technology is turning the sales world upside down. Just as we talked about, the average dealer sees about 10 times as many people per month in the service drive than the number of cars that they sell. So if they're selling 200 cars a month, they're doing about 2,000 retail pay ROs. The service opportunity for retention communication is amazing. And of course, you already know that the service drive has really great profit opportunities. So why wouldn't we want to expand our revenue opportunities? Now, what are the challenges? So, hey, listen, we have to engage them. I'm going to tell you my ownership experience. My ownership experience from the cars that I bought has been horrible with service. The only thing I get, really, the only thing I get is a really impersonal letter every once in a while. Hey, you should bring in your car for recommended service. I've never gotten a phone call. I've never gotten an email for someone saying, hey, Brian, hey, it's time for you to come in. We haven't seen you in a while. It's very odd. But the challenge here is that it is difficult to do because typically we're understaffed. The staff is trying to take care of day-to-day needs. Not very few dealers have a service BDC. If they have a BDC, it's just for variable ops. So as a result, everyone's focusing on what's going on today in the dealership, what's going on today in the service drive. So those extra 20 or 30 phone calls, those extra 50 or 100 emails aren't really getting done. And more importantly, you say, well, Brian, no, we have a smart CRM, we have a smart DMS. Our customers get emailed through the life cycle. Guess what? I don't want to spoil your day. A large percentage of those emails are not getting delivered. Let me say it again. I don't care what your CRM process is. I don't care what your email marketing process is. When Conversica gets turned on, your customers are saying, no, I haven't heard from the dealership. So, We know that service advisors are doing their best, okay? But they have to deal with those day-to-day things in the showroom or in the service drive. Yeah, you can get some help from maybe some service admin people in the back office, or hey, the parts cashier can jump in and shoot some emails out, and very few have the service BDC, as I mentioned. But Conversica will work just like it works in variable ops, now in fixed ops, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, to deliver your message to your customers better than you can, significantly better than you can, and more importantly, you will get a feedback loop that you never had before. Let's go through this, John. Why don't you just review? You don't have to read it, but talk about the different ways in which Conversica now can go in and help the dealer through these customer lifecycle points.
You know, the first thing I'd like to say, Brian, is anybody that's on the webinar right now that uses us in variable ops, in the fixed ops, our process in the back end that you don't see is about 10 times more complicated than just handling inbound leads. We're actually going into the DMS, we're finding those different life cycle trigger points, and then we're communicating the right message at the right time. And that messaging changes, obviously, because it's AI, and we want that customer's perception that, hey, we're talking to a real live human being. So the first thing that we do, obviously, is if someone goes to your website and fills out a form fill that they want service or they have a question about pricing, we'll work those leads for you or those customers for you. If they go to your service scheduler, if you use one like XTime or Time Highway, we can assist with those. Those usually only send out maybe 1 or 2 emails once they've hit that provider. We actually work those leads longer as a live human being. One of the byproducts that we didn't even look at when we created this product for retention is the CSI aspect. Customers are responding back now saying, oh my goodness, you're not sending me a marketing piece or a discount piece. You're actually communicating with me live. That's their perception. So that you're blowing them away by being proactive. You know, right now, most dealers are waiting for that customer to initiate contact. With us, we're initiating that contact. We let that customer know that we care for them. First service visit, we know we should be doing the walkthrough through the service drive at time of sale. But we also know the amount of processes in place when we sell a car. That's the first thing our salespeople drop. So if that appointment was not scheduled at time of sale for that first service visit, we identify that, and based on the OEM recommendations or the dealer recommendations, start reaching out persistently but politely, telling that customer that we really want to do business with them. Once an RO is closed, obviously we want to keep that customer in the loop of coming back in every 6 months or 9 months, depending on the brand. So we start reaching out again with different messaging. The customer never really knows that they're talking to artificial intelligence. The whole point is here to communicate with that customer as a live perceived advocate. 3 CSI. We're supposed to call our customers after an RO is closed. A lot of times we don't get them. We leave a voicemail. We reach out immediately after that RO is closed for a customer pay to make sure the visit went well. If the customer's visit did not go well, our AI reads their response and alerts whoever in the dealership accordingly that, hey, we may have an issue here. Let's correct it before the OEM survey goes out. And then as we come in and install for the first time, we're going to go back 15 months, and we're going to look at every customer that has not closed an RO in the last 12 and start reaching out, again, as a perceived live advocate and say, hey, we missed you. We really want to do business with you. What can we do to help? And then lastly, as we know, there are a lot of airbag recalls out there right now, some other issues with recalls. How in the world can we get in touch with all those customers for probably the lowest hanging fruit for the service department as far as warranty work? We're able to scale that for every customer that is on that recall list. And that customer, again, thinks that a live person has reached out and said, hey, you've got a recall. We'd like to get you in and solve your issues.
Well, I love the fact that not only is Conversica following best practice for customer communication, I have to emphasize this again. Even for dealers who have something in place for a life cycle or customer journey marketing, you are not reaching the people that you think you are. Here's an example of a dealer who just had a weak process, and we asked them, do you have everything, that you were expecting? Meaning, let's just say someone was supposed to get back to them with a quote. Someone was supposed to get back to them to service, to schedule a time. 75% of the people were unhappy. And, well, you could see these. No, I haven't received a call. No one has talked to my husband. No, we haven't heard from the service team. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real data from real people who've installed Conversica in the service drive. But what happens? Here's a dealer who has great process in the service drive, took Conversica seriously, and dropped their unhappy or unresolved customers. Now, you may ask, because some of you are probably data junkies like me, Brian, does it ever get down to under 10%? No. Here's the reason why. There are still issues with email delivery that no one has been able to solve. And some of those issues or intent is very difficult to solve. Conversica is the cleanest, highest deliverable email platform, communication platform that I've seen. There are some solutions, by the way, on what to do with the people who even Conversica can't reach. And of course, if you're interested in those things, they're a little bit more complicated, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. I want you to think about this. These are all the people in your DMS. These are all the customers that are at different points of their lifestyle. If your dealership is really interested in maximizing the revenue from sales and service, then what you need to do is focus on the people who are ready to engage, who are raising their hands. Calling all these customers now, emailing all these customers now won't be relevant, won't be effective. But look, what if Conversica could transform your service drive, your sales team, into focusing on the people in color who are raising their hand and saying, yes, I'm still waiting. I still want to do business. I still want to engage. Yes, your BDC would benefit from Conversica. Yes, your service team would benefit from Conversica because it eliminates or reduces the blind spots in your current communication process. Matter of fact, it will even mitigate those understaffing challenges. If you're down a person for a month because of an illness or an injury, or someone got fired, Conversica is going to still work 24/7, 365 days a year, and tell your sales team and your service team who's waiting for a call, who's waiting for information. That's the most efficient way in which you could possibly operate. So the top benefits from Conversica. And by the way, we do not get any commission from recommending or selling Conversica. We did a research paper. I believe in the product. I'm an advocate for dealers. I'm here to educate you on why you have a blind spot. And I believe that, well, from the dealers that I know that have installed this, they've elevated their profitability, their customer service, their engagement and retention. Why? Because Conversica consistently implements the best practices that your dealership needs. It increases your ROI on each service customer. Why? Because, well, you're able to contact all the people who are ready to raise their hand and then allow your service advisors to focus on those people who are raising their hands instead of making them really basically cold call or reach people who are not raising their hands. Here's the other thing. You finally get a feedback loop on your customer satisfaction, okay? You will get to know if your data is incorrect. For example, when customers respond, no, I've sold that car, Conversica will elevate that response to the manager so they can update their records. You understand that data hygiene is also improved with Conversica. The bottom line is that I don't care whose CRM platform you have, whose email marketing or lifecycle marketing partner you have, you are not reaching all your customers with email communications, and that lift, that ROI lift is significant when you turn on Conversica. Here's an example of a service engagement where Conversica reaches out and asks, hey, would you like to schedule that service appointment? And Gordon responds. Notice Conversica sent an email on the 15th, another one on the 18th, and Gordon responds. But take a look at this one. Conversica sends out, their assistant's name is Jonathan, and Cole Buick GMC sends this out. Want to make sure we get you in on that first service on the Sierra. On the 14th is the second. On the 18th, the 21st. Finally, on the 24th, Tony thinks he's talking to a real person and says, Jonathan, I'm sorry, I've been answering your emails, but I'm only at the 2,300-mile mark. Not ready for a service, so I didn't bother answering you. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see how important this is? You would probably never get this feedback loop because your system isn't persistent. Your people are not persistent. But what did we find out? It's like, well, I'm going to most likely be servicing this truck up in the Holland area where I live. Now, as the service manager, you have new information you never had. You may want to say, well, hey, Tony, we have a pickup. We'll pick up your truck and service it and bring it back. Or you may say, no, that makes sense. That is a far drive, and let me connect you with the service manager there. What kind of goodwill does that develop? Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a breakthrough moment in service marketing with Conversica. The visibility and consistent outreach is going to allow you to spend your marketing dollars better. Since your customers are at different points in their life cycle, they should have appropriate messages delivered at the right time. Well, that efficiency, the cost of Conversica, the efficiency, the ROI allows you to move resources around to go after new business opportunities. Matter of fact, Conversica optimizes your customer outreach budget. And lastly, John, talk about this. What about this idea about limiting discounts to get people back in because, well, there's more consistent service? I thought that was an interesting benefit.
You know, this was, again, one of the things that we didn't think about when we released the solution, but was feedback from the dealers that really got it. Right now, in our industry, we wait for the customer to initiate service contact. One, because we can't scale at the dealership level. So now with Conversica, because we can scale every customer at the right time, again, with the right message, you know, we spend $300 to $600 to acquire a new customer in sales. And then right out of the gate, once they become a service customer, we start remarketing to that customer. What if, through Conversica, we engage customers where we don't have to spend those dollars on existing customers that we've already spent money on acquiring, yet could move that money to acquiring conquest customers? This is how you grow your service department. Cleaning up, you know, like Brian said, the hygiene. We've got probably one of the largest BDC, service BDCs in the country up in the Northeast, and they have eliminated about 30% of the mailing costs and email campaign costs because they're able to clean up their data for customers who no longer own the vehicle or moved away. So now you have a marketing effectiveness ROI that, you know, again, we never thought of it when we developed the solution. Why do we spend money on a customer that we've already spent money on acquiring? Because we cannot engage those customers as a live human being. With Conversica, you can.
And that's why I'm so excited about this product. I know we are really right at the 12 o'clock mark. If anybody has a question that you'd like to ask while we have just a few minutes, please type that in. But I also want you to know that you can just email John RU at Conversica.com and ask questions. You can go to PCGresearch.com and download the report. But ladies and gentlemen, do you understand? Number one, we're spending thousands of dollars on marketing to try to convert customers into buying a car or servicing a car. Number two, many dealers do not have even Google Analytics set up properly to track conversion to know what's working, what's not. You got to fix that. And then once we accept the fact that we're generating leads, phone calls, and emails, our CRM processes have to be inspected for delivery. Are we really getting the full revenue opportunities out of the leads that we're paying for in sales and service? And what we found out is no, that CRMs have a blind spot. CRMs have a delivery problem. Conversica gives you insights. I call it the CSI score of your internet process. Conversica tells you information that, well, you wouldn't get elsewhere. What does it do? It allows you then to fully work your DMS, maximize the profitability, the value, the lifetime value. It gives you data hygiene. It gives you better customer satisfaction scores, and it does it through the industry's most sophisticated AI and robust communication strategy. John, thank you so much for sharing the stage with me today to get this information out to dealers. John, aside from your email address, what's the best phone number for people to reach you and the sales team at Conversica?
They can call me directly at area code 864-270-3137. Again, 864-270-3137.
Great. Well, I'm excited. We've hit the hour mark perfectly. I am going to save this recording. Anyone who's registered for the webinar, we will make sure we send you out a link to download. The file will be large. It will be in a Dropbox, so please download it to your PC first and then play it. And then this way you can share this. It will be recorded in high def. You could share it in your conference room. Get your service manager together. Get your sales managers together. Replay this video for your team. I am confident that they will thank you for the insights. And John, I look forward to seeing how this product continually evolves and your quest to help dealers maximize the lifetime value of their customers. John, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Brian, and thanks to all the attendees.